I guess the first section they talk about is called the avalanche impact of backlogs 2021 in review. They say blah, blah, blah. It also impacts supporting functions of contact center, congressional. So the backlog has really affected like the contact centers, congressional help, the ombudsman's office. Ombudsman's office saw a 79% spike in requests and case assistance in 2021 over the previous year. On the footnote, they say the CIS ombudsman received 14,618 requests for assistance in 2020, but in 2021 they received 26,000, almost 27,000. So it's about almost doubled up of how much stuff they're requesting. They say it is important to note that the agency distinguishes, and this is how USCIS defines backlogs, so it's important to see the definitions. It is important to note the agency distinguishes between what it considers a backlog and its total pending caseload. The agency's total caseload is not its backlog. Rather, it generally defines a backlog as a portion of its total inventory of pending cases that is outside processing goals for that type of form. And then, importantly, until very recently, the last time USCIS articulated processing goals was 2007. So, the way the record keeping, the analysis of the records, all this kind of stuff, it's all skewed and doesn't make any sense. But, that's what we're dealing with here with the agency. They say they've updated it, but as you all know, processing times are out of control. USCIS has come out and they said that a lot of cases are trying to put a 6-month time frame on it for this fiscal year. By October, that's going to be fixed. Who knows if that's actually going to be the case? But that's just the way it is with these agencies. So another part they say limits on the number of employees. Oh, this is for the F400 naturalization, which were hugely delayed for some cases. I had a case. We had the interview. It took 6 months and a threat of a lawsuit to figure it out. But they say limits on the number of employees allowed to access federal record centers are limited. Also limited the transfer of files that USCIS needed to complete adjudicating for N400 application for naturalization and other forms until a backlog of over 300,000 files had grown, leading to additional delays in application internationalization adjudications. Fewer appointments at application support centers for biometrics create a backlog of 1,000 applicants remaining incomplete as well. So for those who don't know, they put a bunch of files that were in storage in this mountain or something like that, and they wouldn't let people in there because of the COVID restrictions. So all these cases couldn't get adjudicated because for naturalization, you have to have the complete A file together before it's finalized. And so they couldn't get the complete A file out, give it to the field office, and so these cases got stuck, and it created unnecessary delays in people getting citizenship. And they talk here another part about it, about the effects that has with regard to filing for your parents or something like that, getting certain benefits, being able to vote. The consequences of backlog for citizenship really affects a profound effect on the American people. Director Jadu of USCIS acknowledged that as of April 2022, the inventory of unadjudicated applications and petitions stood at 8.5 million, with over 5 million pending beyond processing times, published processing times. And for those hearing on audio, they have a chart here. In fiscal year 2015, the pending inventory was 3.2 million. In fiscal year 2021, it's over 8 million. Just the first quarter is 8.5 million. So when I'm gonna take this chart and make images of it and probably put it out. So I'm gonna put out these infographic charts and stuff like that. I'm gonna share it, and then you guys can send it to clients. So when they ask, why is my case taking so long? What's going on? You're being a bad lawyer. You said, hey, look, here's Immigration Lawyers Toolbox, independent organization, and this image is from Ombudsman's office, so it's like government information. Look, 8.5 million case backlog. So our pending inventory, that's the technical term, pending inventory. So that helped calm the nerves of clients, but at least know, hey, this is what we're dealing with. And this is where they say delays lead to increases in requests for assistance from congressional offices and the CIS Ombudsman. In the fiscal year 2021, the USCIS Office of Legislative Affairs received 120,000 inquiries. I'm not sure who this USCIS Office of Legislative Affairs is. Probably when the congressman will contact them, but it's probably kind of confused me. The office had already received 99,103 congressional inquiries as of April 30th, 2022, which means the agency is likely to receive almost 170,000 inquiries in fiscal year 2022, a 30% increase. So I think the USCIS Office of Legislative Affairs references when we contact a congressperson, contact USCIS, 127,000 inquiries. This year is going to be closer to 170,000 inquiries. And probably most people doing this have lawyers, so they know to even contact them, because a lot of people don't know you can contact a congressperson about this. So This is something important to put out there just to know that these are kind of out of control. Now they say the averages when they're doing their analysis of how much time it takes, the averages do not necessarily represent the extent of challenges the agency will face as it works to reach its stated goals in 2 years. For example, the current median processing time for Form I-485 for asylees is 23.2 months, almost 2 years, well above the average for all adjustment applicants. Now, the one thing that's important is the chart here as well that people can see. I should probably zoom in on it so people on the video can see it better. But they always talk about the median time, not the mean. So median is like this different averaging kind of mechanism. So I kind of wish they would get a mean in there too. But for asylum applicants, and I get a lot of calls and emails about this who file for adjustment status based on being asylee. Those cases are taking forever. I-730s are taking forever too. But just prepare for that kind of stuff and let clients know in those cases it's not the same thing as a marriage adjustment case or employment based. It's going to take a while. So that's just something that you're going to have to take and prepare for.